Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, today we will start a new lesson. We will start actually human biology. So we will start with digestion, and then we will move on to the remaining lessons of human biology. So what's coming next? The remaining lessons. The human biology is very interesting. A lot of you enjoy human biology, but it needs, like biology generally needs lots of attention and a lot of studying. Okay, we will start with digestion. Usually this lesson, we will talk about human nutrition today, and we will continue digestion in class. Usually this lesson is the favorite lesson for the girls because they like to know a lot about food and calories and weight gain and weight loss. So this lesson is going to hopefully help you a lot. Now here, this lesson is lesson number 7, human nutrition. Okay, we will talk about all different types of foods and diet and balanced diet, etc., and what happens to your body when you do not eat certain types of food. Okay, I'm going to start. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. We will start with the definitions. First, you need to know that, of course, you already know this from before, that we are all consumers. In other words, we don't make our own food like plants, but we eat other organisms. Plants, they are producers. Now, plants is a unit on its own. We will study plants in detail in the lesson Plant Nutrition and Plant Transport. Plants are described as autotrophs or producers because they make their own food. But of course, we are in the animal kingdom and we are consumers. In other words, we have to feed, we have to eat food. We do not make our own food like plants. Now, why do we eat food? This is a very easy question that I don't expect that you will ever have in paper 4, maybe paper 2. Food is needed for growth, for making new cells. Food, of course, is the main source of energy, and energy is needed for all the chemical reactions in the body. Energy is needed for movement, maintaining body temperature. I will stop here a little bit. Okay, it's noisy. I don't want any noise, please. Now, of course, you all know we are warm-blooded animals or cold-blooded animals.
Warm-blooded.
We are, of course, warm-blooded. In other words, our body temperature is always 37 degrees the whole time. And why is this important? Why should we always stay 37 degrees?
Because of enzymes?
Excellent. Because of the enzymes in our body. These enzymes, you know by now that they catalyze all the chemical reactions and they have an optimum temperature in the human body. If the temperature changes, this will affect our enzymes and this can be fatal. Now, keeping the temperature of the body always 37 degrees, this needs energy. So this is one of the uses of energy. We need energy for active transport. You should know what active transport is now. We need energy to conduct nerve impulses for the transmission of nerve impulses. We need energy, of course, for the contraction of our muscles. So these are the uses of energy. I don't think anything is hard up till now. If you have any questions, just stop me. Now, we have a diet and we should eat a balanced diet. We want to understand the difference between those two terms. What is your diet means? What is the food that you consume throughout the day? What do you eat throughout the day? Now, what is the balanced diet? The balanced diet is what you should eat to stay healthy. So the balanced diet, the definition for a balanced diet, it is a diet that consists of all the food groups. You have to eat everything. Even if you think that fats are not good for you, you have to eat fats even in small amounts. So the balanced diet is what you should eat. And of course, the balanced diet is affected by your age, by your gender, by your lifestyle. This is very important. So these are two different terms. The diet is what you eat. Maybe what you eat is good and maybe what you eat is bad. Balanced diet is the diet that you should eat, the diet that should include all the nutrients in the right amount to ensure that you are healthy and you're growing and your muscles are repairing, and to ensure that you have the needed energy. This is the balanced diet, the diet that you need in order to stay healthy. And of course, this diet is affected by the age and the gender and the lifestyle. So my diet will be different from your diet because we are a different age. And the necessary food groups that we will discuss in detail in this lesson, we will talk about carbohydrates and proteins and lipids and vitamins and minerals and fiber and water and why they are important and what happens when you eat too much of them or too little of them. Okay, this is really, really easy and interesting. Now, of course, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, where are they found?
In bread.
In bread, in cereal, in pasta, in rice, in potatoes. Now, of course, what is the most important function of carbohydrates?
They give energy to the body.
Energy, very easy. Proteins, where do you find proteins in food?
Meat.
In fish, in eggs, okay? And proteins, of course, are very important for what?
Growth and repair.
Exactly, mainly muscles. Okay, we will also have a list for the uses of proteins. Lipids means fats. Fats. Where are fats found?
In oil.
In oil, in butter, in fatty foods. And why are fats important? Even if you think that they're not, you should not eat fats in large amounts, but they are important.
Body insulation.
Yes, fats are needed for a lot of things, and we will take a list very shortly, very soon. Fats are needed for the making of hormones. It's needed for insulation. It stores energy. Now, I want to stop at insulation. Who knows what is insulation? What does insulation mean?
Not like keeping heat inside.
Yes, you are correct. And one of you said protection. She is also correct. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but all the organs in your body are covered by a layer of fat. So any organ in your body, your heart, your liver, your they are covered by a layer of fat. And this is, of course, for protection. And of course, you know that fat is stored under your skin. If this is your skin, you have lots of fat below the skin. And the more fat you eat, the more fat is stored. And this is important for two reasons, because it is storing energy anytime you need energy you can go get from your stores, and also it provides insulation. Insulation, simply speaking, means it keeps you warm and it helps keeping the body temperature at 37 degrees. You know, when they say, or they make fun of very thin people, they say she's cold because she does not have enough fat. This is actually true. She has very little fat, so she is not helping herself with insulation and she's always cold. Now, fiber. I want to talk about fiber. What is fiber? Who knows? Who knows what
has to do with the cell wall, something like that?
Yes, you are correct. Now, we know what is the structure of the plant cell, and we know that the plant cell has a thick and strong cell wall. In case you did not know, we as humans, we cannot digest the cell wall. It is not digested. Even though it is not digested, it is very healthy for us, because this cell wall that we cannot digest, it will be fiber.
Isn't there fiber in muscles as well?
In muscles?
Yes.
The fibers that you are talking about in muscles, they're actually protein fibers that help in muscle contraction. It's different from the fiber that I'm talking about. They are the same, yes. But
the only thing I know about fiber is that it helps with constipation.
Yes, you are correct. Now, I'll get you pictures to cut a long story short and to tell you how fiber will help you. Okay, I'll jump. Yes. Now, I want you to look at this picture. This picture is in your intestines. Your digestive system looks like this. It's a tube of muscle that is always moving. Can you see the motion?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Now, imagine that this is your intestines and you are eating lots of fiber, lots of fruits and vegetables that you cannot digest. So you cannot digest it, and therefore it will be very big. It will create bulk in your digestive system. Your digestive system will have bulky food here that cannot be digested. Think about it. When you have food that you cannot digest, this bulky food that is mainly fiber, will your digestive system push it out harder or not? Like, will the digestive system move more to push it out or move less?
Move more.
Hard.
Move more, because your digestive system will want to push this bulky food out. This is the bulky food. This is the food that you cannot digest. And this is actually very healthy because it adds bulk to the food. This word is very important. It makes the food bulky. It makes the food big, like a stone in your digestive system that is not digestible. You cannot digest it. So the body or the digestive system has to push it out. And this will encourage the movement of your digestive system. Now, those three pictures are very obvious. It is showing you here that you have a bulk of food that you cannot digest. So your digestive system is moving hard to push it out. And the same idea here, and the same idea here. This movement of the digestive system, think about it, will help you go to the bathroom more or less. What do you think?
More.
More. So that is why we say that fiber in the food is very healthy, even though we cannot digest it, because of two reasons. Because it adds bulk to the food and it prevents what's the word?
Constipation.
Exactly. It prevents constipation. Constipation means I cannot go to the bathroom. I have problems in excretion. Why? Because my food, excuse me? Why do I have problems in excretion? Because my food is very soft. It is not encouraging my digestive system to move. Okay, so I cannot go to the bathroom. Where is the picture? I'm looking for a certain picture that I can't find here, but I'll find it along the way. So I hope you understand what fiber is, and we will also discuss it again when I reach this paragraph. Yes, here, this friend of ours, he has constipation. Constipation. I cannot explain it more than that. He has problems going to the bathroom. Why? Because he's eating lots of fiber or very little fiber?
Little.
Very
Little
little
fiber.
fiber. His food is McDonald's and French fries and pizza and ice cream. Very unhealthy food. No fiber. The food is very soft. It does not encourage its digestive system to move, so he will have problems in the bathroom. His digestive system will not move. But if you eat lots of fiber, your digestive system will move very hard to get it out. And when your digestive system is moving, this will help you to get all the food outside your body and will prevent constipation. Yes, Habiba, you have a question?
Yes. What happens when a person remains constipated?
No, this is a big problem. He will bloat, he will have a lot of stomach pain, and he will eventually go to the bathroom. But if it doesn't, he will have to take laxatives, and the laxatives usually solve the problem. And if he remains many days without going to the bathroom, it can be a hospitalization case. He has to go to the hospital. But I don't think it can reach this far.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So let's go back talking about food. It's usually, so I hope fiber is clear now. Fiber is found in all food that is related to plants because fiber is in the cell wall of the plant that we cannot digest. Okay, fruits, vegetables, etc., etc., etc. And we will talk about those later, vitamins, minerals, and water. Just be patient, okay? Now, let's talk about vitamin C in specific. Vitamin C, where is it found?
Oranges and lemons.
Yes, it is found in a lot of fruits, oranges and lemons. Together, they're called the citrus fruits. Vitamin C is very important for our skin and for our tissues. That's why females, they put vitamin C on their face because it's good for the skin, okay? It is very important for something called collagen, in the making of a protein in the skin called collagen, okay? Very important for your skin, for your hair, for the health of your gums. And also vitamin C is important for your bones, in case you did not know that. But mainly vitamin C is very important for the health of the skin. And if you do not have enough vitamin C in your body, your skin will be very thin and you will have inflamed gums and your wounds will not heal, okay? And we will talk about this disease, scurvy, very, very soon. Now, vitamin D. Who knows about what vitamin D is and why is it important?
For bones?
It's for
Yes.
bones and teeth, and we mostly absorb it from the sun as well.
Excellent. Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. Fat-soluble vitamin means it is stored in the fat under the skin. This is your hand, okay? And you have fat under the skin, and this fat contains vitamin D. This vitamin D, when you are exposed to the sun, it will become activated. And the activation of vitamin D is very important because vitamin D helps in the absorption of what?
Calcium.
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 Yes. Calcium is very important for the bones and for your teeth. So vitamin D and calcium, they are friends because they both work together to make your teeth and your bones very, very strong. Okay. Now, vitamins, I just want to clarify that vitamins, they have no energy value. In other words, if you take a vitamin supplement, it will not make you fat. It has no energy value like fats and proteins and carbohydrates, but they're very important for your health. Now, calcium. Where is calcium found?
Milk.
Of course, milk and cheese and eggs. And why is calcium important?
It makes the bones and teeth stronger.
Very good. Calcium is very important for healthy bones and healthy teeth. But also calcium is important for other things that you need to memorize. It's important for your muscle contraction. It's important for the sending of nerves. It is important in blood clotting. In case you don't know what blood clotting is, when you're wounded, do you keep on bleeding forever or the bleeding stops?
No, specialized cells called platelets, they come and block the wound.
You are correct. And calcium also helps in blood clotting. It helps that you do not keep on bleeding forever. And it prevents a disease called rickets that happens in children. And I will show you a picture of rickets. Now,
Rickets
iron. Let's talk about iron. Why is iron important? It's a mineral. Iron is a mineral. Why is it important to eat iron in your food?
Because it
anemia?
helps make hemoglobin in the blood cells.
Yes, I can see that 2 people are participating. I want everyone to participate. I have 52 of you, so I want all of you to engage. Iron is very important. First, it is found in red meat. It is found in liver. It is found in spinach, especially spinach. You know Popeye the Sailor Man? Okay, remember this cartoon that you used to watch when you were children? He used to eat spinach, and after eating spinach, he used to become very strong because iron is very important in the making of the red blood cells. I think you all know what red blood cell is. The red blood cell is the cell in your body that carries oxygen. When oxygen is available, your muscles will be able to respire and produce energy. So iron is very, very, very important. Okay? It is important in the making of the hemoglobin protein found in red blood cells. If there is no enough iron in your diet, you will suffer from which disease?
Anemia.
Yes, anemia. Okay, we'll talk about anemia in a minute. Now, let's talk about what if you eat too much of a particular food or too little of a particular food. I'll start choosing names, okay? Adham, for example. Adham, I want to hear your voice. Where are you?
I'm here, miss.
Okay, hello, Adham. Now tell me, malnutrition. Does this child look healthy to you?
No,
Okay, he's not. Why?
he's obese.
Yes, okay, he is more than the average weight. And this is an example of malnutrition. A lot of people think that malnutrition means that you are underweight. Even when you are overweight, this is an example of malnutrition. So what is the definition of malnutrition? It is not eating a balanced diet. So you have now 3 terms. You have diet is what you eat. Balanced diet is what you should eat in terms of all the nutrients and the right amounts to make you healthy, to make you have enough energy. Malnutrition is that when you eat the wrong type of food, when you eat too much pizza, too much McDonald's, too much fatty foods, or when you eat too little, okay? Starvation is malnutrition. Coronary heart disease is a disease that results because you eat too much fats, and we'll talk about it in detail. Constipation, I think you know what is constipation by now. Constipation results when you eat too little, tell me, Adam, fiber. Very good. Too little fiber. Obesity happens when you eat too much. When you eat too much what?
Fat and sugar.
Yes, Ahmed Zaki, where are you?
I'm here, miss.
Okay, participate with me. Obesity happens when you eat too much fats and too much what?
I don't know.
What will make you gain weight? No, you know. Don't tell me I don't know. It's too easy for you to not know. When you eat too much, what will make you gain weight?
Fat and sugary food.
Yes. Okay. Now, we did talk about those things now. I want to show you pictures soon. We talked about vitamin D. Vitamin D, why is there a picture of the sun, Ahmed? Were you paying attention? What is the relation between vitamin D and the sun? The sun, what does the sun do to the vitamin D? I'll give you two options. It will activate vitamin D or not activate vitamin D.
Activate.
Very good. So when you are exposed to the sun, the vitamin D that is stored in your body will become activated. Now, what happens when the vitamin D is activated? Why is it important to be activated? Ziad Dessouki, tell me, why is vitamin D activated?
Because of the sun, vitamin D is stored under the skin.
Very good. It is a fat-soluble vitamin. Now, the question is, when it is activated, what will it do? It will help in the absorption of what? We said it is friends with what?
Calcium.
Calcium. Yes, who said it? Wake up with me, come on. It's very easy. Okay? Vitamin D, when it is activated, it will help in the absorption of calcium from your body. Now tell me, Ziad, why is calcium important?
Calcium for the bones.
Very good, for strong bones and strong teeth. And there's another list for muscle
Miss?
contraction. Yes, my dear.
Is it bad if I got too much vitamin D?
Look, anything in excess is bad. Anything too little is bad. That's why there is the term balanced diet. Vitamin D, when it is in excess, it will be broken down by the liver. And the liver will then be overworked. And this can cause strain on the liver. Okay? So anything in excess is not good. Why do you take too much? You just take what you need. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the disease. This is a deficiency disease, what you see here. It's called rickets. Now, first, what is a deficiency disease from the name? Deficiency. What does deficiency mean?
A disease that happens when lacking of vitamins or certain things.
Yes, I want to hear some girls here answering. Yes, a deficiency disease from the name is a disease that results when you are eating in less or eating in deficiency. Like, for example, you don't have enough vitamin C in the diet, or this child does not have enough vitamin C in the diet. So no vitamin D, no calcium. He will have very weak bones, as you can see. His bones will be very weak. The bones will not be able to carry the child, and the bones will curve like this, as you can see. This is called rickets. It's a disease in children because their bones are very soft bones in children. And unfortunately, this disease has no treatment. He will grow like this, and it's a horrible disease. So that is why it's very important for the children to be exposed to the sun to activate the vitamin D and to drink lots of milk so that they can build strong bones. Now, if you are an adult, this is rickets. This is how the bones will look like as a child here. And when he grows, the bones will be very weak. Now, also, when you are an adult, and you do not drink enough milk, not because now you are in year 10, this means that you should not have enough calcium. You are still growing, by the way. You should have enough vitamin D and calcium, because if you don't, what will you suffer from?
Osteomalacia.
Very good. Another disease that is also related to soft and weak bones, but in adults, which is called osteomalacia. Osteomalacia simply means very weak bones in adults. And these weak bones, they break very quickly. Just a small bump can make you break your bones. It's a very painful disease, but it can be easily treated if you improve your diet. But if it happens as a child, if you have rickets, this cannot be treated, unfortunately. Okay. Now, this is osteomalacia in adults. This is an adult that will have frequent bone break, okay, for very small bumps. And of course, this is very painful. Now, we said iron. Iron is found in red meat and in spinach. Always remember Popeye the Sailor Man. Now, iron is important for the making of what in the red blood cell? For which protein? I want some girls here to participate.
Hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin, very good. Okay. And by the way, before you ask me what is myoglobin, myoglobin is hemoglobin, but in the muscle cells. It's just specialized protein in the muscle cells. It has the same function. They carry oxygen. Okay. Now, what if you don't have enough iron? What will you suffer from?
Anemia.
Okay. By the way, a lot of us have anemia, but we don't know because we don't eat healthy food. And what are the signs and symptoms? You're always tired, fatigue, you always have headache, you have pale skin, your hair will fall, you have very weak nails. So when girls complain that their hair is falling or they have very weak nails, usually the doctor will give them multivitamins, and this includes anemia. Now, there's a common question that asks, why are females more prone to anemia than males?
Because of the period blood
Yes,
lose.
yes, excellent. Females, when they reach maturation, they have or they experience menstrual cycle, the period or the menstrual cycle, which is a loss of blood every month. When they lose blood and this blood is not compensated for, they will have anemia. So they are losing blood every month and they're not eating healthy. So they will have a higher chance of getting anemia. But males, they don't have menstrual blood and they don't lose blood. So that is why anemia is more common in females. Okay. So we talked about the minerals, we talked about the vitamins. Put in mind the minerals and the vitamins, they have no energy value, no energy value. In other words, they don't give you energy. They have to be in your diet in small amounts because they are important, but they give you no energy value. Okay, we talked about calcium. Any questions about calcium? Okay, we said calcium is important for bones and teeth, for muscle contraction, for the conduction of messages, for blood clotting. Okay, another example of malnutrition. I'm sorry, the picture is not very nice, but this is what do you see here?
Starvation.
This is starvation. Okay, starvation is not because you're eating too much pizza and McDonald's. It's because you are under eating. You are under eating, and this will lead to loss of weight and of course fatigue, and it can be fatal, unfortunately. Okay, now another example of malnutrition, eating wrong type of food, eating too much fat. What will happen to your heart? What do you think? What's this picture? I want someone else to answer. Let me choose someone, please. Kadi. Tell me, Kadi, when you eat too much fat, what will happen to your heart? Where is she?
Yes.
Huh? Tell me. What do you see here?
It will form a clot.
Yes. Kadi, what is this yellow? What's this yellow thing here?
Cholesterol.
Okay, you are correct. This is too much fat and cholesterol. You're eating too much fat, too much fat, too much fat. Of course, this does not happen after 1 or 2 meals. This happens over years, okay? This is your heart.
Yeah, it builds up, I think.
Yes, you are correct. And you're eating too much fat, okay?
It's called plaque, right?
Yes, it's called plaque. You are correct. Now, very simply speaking, you have a very poor diet. You're eating lots of French fries, lots of fatty foods, and this is taking place for years and years and years. This fat will be built up in your arteries. It's very obvious here. Now, the artery that supplies blood to the heart, it has a name. What is the name of the artery that supplies the blood to the heart?
Coronary artery.
Yes, I'm mentioning
The artery?
coronary. Yes, coronary artery, because we will take it in another lesson, so it's okay to say it. Now, when the fat or the plaque builds up inside the walls of the coronary artery, the blood will not reach the heart. At the beginning, less blood will reach the heart. And with time, if you ignore the symptoms and you keep on eating McDonald's, the fat will completely block the coronary arteries until no blood will be able to reach the heart. Now, what do you think this will cause the heart? What will this do to the heart?
Less pumping of blood.
Heart attack.
Because of loss of
You
Less
are
pumping.
oh, yes, you are correct. Imagine your heart is not receiving blood. Imagine your heart is not receiving oxygen. It's not receiving glucose. Will it be able to contract? Will it be able to pump? No. And this can cause a heart attack like this poor man, and this can be fatal. So this is an example of malnutrition. because you're not eating a balanced diet, because your diet is very high in fatty foods. And don't think that this cannot happen. This happens and starts at your age. That is why it's very important to be aware of your diet, very important to make healthy choices, even if you are still this young, so that you prevent those diseases when you grow up. Okay? So the coronary heart disease is a disease that results due to malnutrition, because you are eating the wrong type of food, because you are eating a diet that is very high in fat, and we will talk about the different types of fat. These fat deposits will build up in your arteries. I'm sure you know what are arteries, yes? This is the blood vessel that supplies all the organs with blood. And this will then result in a decrease in the flow of blood to the heart. The muscles of the heart will not be able to contract, and then the muscles will then die, and you will suffer from a heart attack, God forbid. So this is another example of malnutrition. So malnutrition means I'm eating the wrong type of food, including starvation, including constipation, for example, anemia. As long as you have a disease related to food, then this is an example of malnutrition. And this is an example of malnutrition. We already mentioned that. Why would you suffer from constipation? Because
lack of fiber.
for the lack of fiber. Okay, there are other reasons, of course, but we're talking here, or we're talking today about fiber. I hope this is clear. Fiber is the cell wall in plants. Fiber cannot be digested, even though it cannot be digested. Fiber is very healthy because fiber makes the food bulky. This is a keyword. That's why I keep on mentioning it. Fiber adds bulk to your food. Your food will be very bulky in your digestive tract, and your digestive tract will have to push and push and push to get it out. This pushing means your digestive system will move, and moving the digestive system is good for you, because I will then remove everything in your digestive system, and I will go to the bathroom and I will be happy, and I will not have any constipation. Now this, for year 10, you need to take a little bit more information. Just the name of two muscles that are found in your digestive system. You have here muscles that are circular, as you can see. And can you guess what is the name of this muscle that is circular in shape? They're called circular muscles. Let me get another picture, okay? Okay, so in your digestive tract, how is the digestive tract moving? Anything that moves, it moves because of muscles. Because you have two sets of muscles in your digestive tract. You have muscles that are circular, and that is why they're called circular muscles. And you have muscles that are long, and they are called what? Who knows? Yes, Layla. They're called, yes. Layla, you have a question?
Yes, I also want to say that so peristalsis doesn't only happen in the esophagus.
No, it happens all along your digestive tract. Nice
Okay.
question. Okay, my dear, very good. What's this called? So again, in your esophagus,
Circular muscles.
circular muscles, yes, and longitudinal muscles. The muscles that are long like this, they're called longitudinal muscles. And the muscles that are circular, they have an easy name, they're called circular muscles. Yes, Lily, you have a question?
Doctor, these muscles are antagonist muscles.
Yes, I was just going to say, very good. Now, please, Lily, help me and remind me and tell me, what does antagonistic mean? Lily? Who will remind me? Muscles along your digestive system are circular or longitudinal. Yes, Hadi. Yes, Hadiya. Tell me, what is the definition of antagonistic muscles?
There are muscles that work in pairs. So whenever one relaxes, the other contracts. And whenever one contracts, the other relaxes.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go back to this picture, because this picture makes everything clear. You have two muscles in your digestive tract. Of course, it starts from the esophagus. I'll tell you what the esophagus is in case you don't know, but tomorrow. And all along your digestive system, you have your muscles along your digestive system. Your digestive system is a long tube of muscle that is always moving. Moving means it will contract and relax, just like you see in the picture here. These circular muscles will contract and the longitudinal muscles will relax. And when the circular muscles relax, the longitudinal muscles contract, so that the food is pushed down the digestive system. When muscles move or work in opposite direction, one will contract, one will relax. This is called antagonistic. Antagonistic. Antagonistic means muscles that work in pairs in opposite directions. One will contract and the other will relax. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I hope it's clear. We're done with fiber. Fiber, it adds bulk to food, it prevents constipation, and also it prevents colon cancer. That is why fiber is very important. Okay, we did talk about obesity, I think. This child is obese, and this is so dangerous for a child. Overweight and obesity, the difference between them, overweight means you're a little bit overweight, which is not bad. Obesity means you are very overweight, and this is very unhealthy. This is considered a disease. Obesity is considered a disease. It causes high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, diabetes, back pain and knee pain. It causes depression. It can limit your movement if the condition is very severe. Okay? Now, let's talk about the energy requirements. There are some terms that I think most of you know. What is the basal metabolic rate? Who knows?
The rate of burning fat.
Okay, this is the minimum amount of energy that you are burning just to stay alive. You know, when you're sleeping, you are not exercising. You're still burning energy, even though you're just sleeping. This is the least amount of energy that an organism needs to stay alive, to breathe. We want this basal metabolic rate to maintain the circulation of blood in order to breathe, to keep the body temperature constant, to keep the brain functioning, okay? And other chemical processes in the body, such as respiration. Fine. Now, the basal metabolic rate is different in females than in males. Can you guess basal metabolic rate is more in males or in females, and why? Who has a higher basal metabolic rate?
Males.
Of course, males. Males, they have, this is the suggest questions that always come in paper 4. Males, they have a higher basal metabolic rate. When I have a boy and a girl of the same age, they're sitting down or they're both sleeping, the boy will still be burning more than the female. Okay, they're lucky. Now, why do you think the males have a higher basal metabolic rate?
They use more energy.
They use more energy. Now, the question is why? Why even while they're sleeping, they're using more energy than females?
They have more
More
muscle
muscles.
mass than females.
Exactly, very good. They have more muscle mass. Okay, they are bigger in size, so we need more energy to keep all this big size of a constant body temperature. Okay, and what do you think? Children or adults have a higher basal metabolic rate? A child or an adult?
An adult.
An adult. Because
A child, by the way, the
Child.
child, they burn more energy.
Children burn more than adults.
Yes, children, they burn more than adults. The younger you are, the more you're burning, even while you're sleeping, because they have
is
lots
it because the children are more active than adults?
Yes, they are more active and they are growing the whole time, even while they're sleeping. So they have a higher basal metabolic rate. Okay, so the basal metabolic rate, it's the least amount of energy that you need to stay alive. And even that differs from one person to the other. Okay, calories or joules, in case you ask me, this is the unit for energy. Calories or joules. I do not want you to memorize those numbers, but they are in your notes to show you that the fat will give you the most energy. 37 kilojoules of energy per 1 gram. So fat gives you lots of energy. Protein and carbohydrates give you the same amount of energy, but the body prefers to break down carbohydrates first. When the carbohydrates are finished, the body will start to break down protein, and this is not very healthy. Okay? And energy requirements, they differ from one person to another because it depends on the age, it depends on the gender, it depends on the activity of the individual. Yes, Hadiyah?
Why is carbohydrates broken down first if they contain the same amount of energy?
Carbohydrates, they are needed for energy. They don't have any other function. Proteins, they are needed for other important things. They make muscles, they make cell membranes, they make hormones, they make enzymes. All the organs in your body are made up of protein. So proteins, they are needed for other things. We will break down protein only when the carbohydrates are completely finished. Give me another function for carbohydrate other than energy. Can you think of anything else?
No.
No. Carbohydrates are the #1 source of energy in the body. By the way, your question is a very smart question. It can be a critical thinking question in an exam.
Miss,
Yes, my dear.
if carbohydrates are the main source of energy in the body, why does fats give more energy than?
Fats, they are stored. First, fats are stored. When fats are broken down, they will give you more energy. I will answer your question. Why do fats give you more energy storage than carbohydrates? Because this is related to the molecular structure of fats. You want me to dive into that? Okay. Fats, they are made up of 1 glycerol molecule and 3 fatty acid molecules. It's not O-level, but I'll answer your question. Fatty acids, they are a chain of hydrocarbons. Okay, you will take it next year if you take AS biology. These hydrocarbon chains, when they're broken down, they give you lots of energy. So the reason why fats give you lots of energy, it's because of their molecular structure. They have lots of carbon-hydrogen molecules, and these hydrocarbon molecules, when they're broken down, they give you more energy. Carbohydrates, their molecular structure have less hydrocarbon chains. That's why when carbohydrates are broken down, they give you less energy.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Now, this is very easy. Now, this female, she's very active. Who will burn or need more energy, this female or this grandfather?
The female.
Of course, the female, because she's active. Fine. Now, they can ask you questions like this. We said that the diet is dependent on age. Of course, the younger you are, just rule of thumb, the younger you are, the more energy you need. Activity levels. This girl, of course, she will consume much more energy than another boy, even if another boy her age, because she is highly active. Now, pregnancy and breastfeeding. Why would a pregnant female require more calcium and more iron and more everything?
Milk.
Because
For the child.
they need to feed the baby.
Exactly, because now she's eating for 2 organisms, for herself and for the baby. And why would a breastfeeding female need more and more?
She's also feeding 2 people.
Exactly, she's also feeding 2 people. Actually, in the state or in the condition of breastfeeding, as the baby is growing, he needs more energy, and the energy requirements for the baby increase. So the mother has to take in more energy requirements to produce milk of suitable energy requirements for the child. Okay, these are the questions that are usually asked, especially in paper 6. They want you to compare the energy requirements for different individuals depending on the age and the gender. Always put in mind, breastfeeding needs more energy than a pregnant female, by the way. Okay, and if you're younger, you need more energy than an older person. If you are highly active, of course, you need more energy than someone who is not active. Fine. Now, proteins. Protein is needed for what? You all said it. I will not say it. It's needed for what?
Growth.
For growth, for making muscles, for enzymes, for making milk in a breastfeeding female. If you don't have proteins, what will happen? This is important. Usually the question asks you about the lack of the nutrient, not what it is needed for. If you don't eat proteins, what will happen to you?
Stop growing.
You will not grow.
Stunted growth.
Yes, stunted growth. Excellent. Nice term. You will have stunted growth or delayed growth, delayed onset of puberty. Okay, but this means that you are in starvation, no protein at all. Your enzymes will be affected. Your hormonal production will be affected. So proteins are very important. If a breastfeeding female is not having enough protein, this will affect her milk. Okay, it will affect the growth of muscles. Now, why did I put this picture? Because men, when they go to the gym and they want to build muscles, they take more proteins because they need it for muscle growth. I think we talked about that. Fat is needed for what? This list is very important. To store energy. Huh?
Will protein affect the bone structure? The
No.
lack of protein?
Protein is not going to affect the bone. Maybe in an indirect way. You know why? Because proteins make muscles, and the muscles protect the bones. When you don't have lots of muscles to protect your bones will be exposed to fracture. Okay?
Okay.
Nice question. Okay, fat is needed for energy, to protect your body organs, to insulate the body. I think we talked about that, to make you nice and warm, to produce cell membranes. Fat is very important for hormones, by the way. That is why when someone goes on a very, very strict diet and they don't have any fat, their hormones are affected. This is true. Okay? Fat contains vitamins, the fat-soluble vitamins. Too much fat will make you overweight. You might suffer from coronary heart disease. You might have diabetes, high blood pressure. You might have acne in teenagers. You will have obesity, and you will have back pain and joint pain. So these things, just memorize them because they're easy. I think we talked about coronary heart disease in detail. Yeah, anyone has questions?
Doctor.
Okay.
No.
Now, coronary heart disease, we will study it in detail in the lesson Transport in Animals. But why do we study it here? Because it is an example of malnutrition. Yes, Ahmed.
Hello. Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Doctor, does does back and joint pain obesity causes it due to the weight
Yes.
on your bones?
Yes, of course. Your knees are very weak, by the way. One of the weak points in your body. When you're very heavy, your knees get badly affected and your back gets badly affected.
Thank you.
Okay? And of course, when you eat too much fat, you will have coronary heart disease. Coronary heart disease, by the way, it is a progressive disease. It does not happen overnight. First, you will eat lots of McDonald's. You will keep on eating McDonald's for years and years. This is going to build fat in your arteries. It's called plaque or fat. And then there will be a decrease in the blood flow. Your heart will receive less blood. First, it starts with pain in your chest. This pain is called angina pain. You will go to the doctor. The doctor will tell you, stop eating fats, go to the gym, exercise, lose weight, stop smoking. He will give you some instructions. If you do not listen to those instructions, the condition will get worse. And this plaque will become bigger and bigger and bigger until it completely blocks the coronary arteries and there is no blood reaching the heart. This will finally, God forbid, lead to what?
Death.
Lead to a
Heart
heart
attack.
attack. Very good. And this heart attack,
Heart attack.
yeah, this heart attack, it can kill you. Maybe it will not kill you. It depends on a lot of factors. Okay? Now, too much sugar, like this cartoon. Not only will it make you gain weight, but it will also cause what? Tooth decay. And tooth decay. Excuse me?
Sorry, I said diabetes.
Yes, you are correct. Who said that you're wrong? Too much sugar can give you diabetes, of course. It will also.
There's type 1 and type 2, right?
Yes, we'll study it in the lesson homeostasis. Okay? Also, it causes lots of inflammation in your body. Sugar is never good. Like, sugar is important, of course, for energy, but try to avoid, like, this is just an advice for you. Try to avoid white sugar. White sugar. Take your sugar from pasta, from carbohydrates, from fruits, from vegetables, because white sugar causes lots of inflammation, diabetes, and decayed teeth. Now,
What about brown sugar?
it's the same. Maybe it's a little bit less harmful, but it's both refined sugar. Okay. Now, why do I have this picture here? Because here we are talking about vegetarian people. Vegetarian people, they will not ask you what is being vegetarian, but they will ask you about what are the consequences of not eating any protein. You're eating only vegetables, 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 vegetables. Why is this not good?
Delayed growth.
Because you won't you won't be able to gain protein.
Of course, you will have lack of protein and all the
And
consequences. Excuse me, my
Will
dear.
affect the bone growth and teeth.
It will affect everything. Protein is very important. Yes, some seeds have protein, but animal protein is very important. So if you want my advice, vegetarian is not a good idea. Okay?
And it may affect digestion.
Yes, you are correct. It can affect digestion. Again, too much fiber also can be bad. Everything in excess is not good. And you will have a deficiency in proteins. It would affect your hormones, your cell membranes, will affect your muscles. So, okay, I think, yes, this is really important. The fate of carbohydrates. You have this picture in your notes, and it's very important, but it's very easy. When you eat cellulose, what is cellulose? Where is cellulose found?
Cell wall.
And this
Plant
is
cell wall.
of plant. Can we digest it?
No.
It
No.
is digested. Very good. So this will change to what?
Roughage or bulk.
Fiber. Roughage is just another name for fiber. Okay? So when you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, that's good because you're eating cellulose, which is found in the cell wall of plants. I cannot digest it. So it will change to fiber. It will add bulk to food. And this will prevent constipation or cause constipation.
Prevent.
And constipation, of course. Now, let's say I'm eating starch. Of course, you should know by now that starch and sugar, they are different forms of sugar. Starch is found in rice, in pasta. It is a complex carbohydrate. Sugar is found in fruits.
The other is a polysaccharide and the other is
Yes, we took it. A monosaccharide or a disaccharide, correct. Now, both of them will be digested and will turn to sugar in the body. Okay? If you eat rice and potatoes, it will be digested and it will become sugar. If you eat fruits, it will be absorbed. Very little digestion will take place, and in the end, it will be sugar also. This sugar, what is the main function of the sugar in the body?
energy.
Yes, I will use it in respiration to give me energy. What if you are eating an excess of sugar? What will happen to this sugar?
Will be stored.
Exactly. Unfortunately, any excess sugar will be stored in the body. Number one, it will be stored as glycogen in the liver. You heard this before. And if the liver is filled with glycogen and I don't have any space, it will be stored as
Glycogen.
yes, we said it will be stored as glycogen. What if the liver has no more space?
It will be stored as fat.
It will be stored as fat. And this will make us gain weight. Okay, so this is the fate of eating too much sugar. I will eat sugar, I will use it in energy. What if I'm eating in excess? It will all be stored. Unfortunately, sugar in excess is stored. It would be lovely if excess sugar was excreted, but it's not. It will be first stored as glycogen in the liver. And when the liver has no more space, it will be stored as fat. And it will make us gain weight. Okay? Okay, I'll talk about the types of fat and then I'll be done. Types of fat, we have two types of fat. We have saturated fat and we have unsaturated fat and we have cholesterol, which is a type of fat. It's very easy to remember them. I'll tell you how. Saturated fat, it is the fat that comes from animal sources, like the butter, the ghee, you know what's ghee?
Don't know, something that Indians put in their food.
No. Ghee, we also put it in our samna. Okay? Butter and ghee. This is animal fat. This is saturated fat. This fat is not good. This is the fat that causes coronary heart disease. This is the fat that blocks the arteries. Okay? So it makes the food taste very good, unfortunately, but it's not healthy. So we should use it, but in small amounts. Okay? Now we have another type of fat that is unsaturated, and this is plant fat. And the best and the easiest example is what? Olive oil, sunflower oil, almond oil. Any oil that comes from plants is unsaturated fat. It is liquid at room temperature, while the saturated fat is solid at room temperature, like the butter, like the ghee, okay? Unsaturated fat is healthier. That's why if you want to go on a diet or you want to improve your diet,
Avocado?
Excuse me?
Avocado is unsaturated fat?
Yes, any fat or any oil coming from a plant source, this is unsaturated fat. It's liquid at room temperature. Coconut oil, even though this is a little bit solidifies in the winter, but they are all considered unsaturated fat and they are less harmful. They do not cause coronary heart disease. A lot of people now cook with olive oil because it's healthier. Okay? And there's the third type of fat that I think you all heard about it, which is cholesterol. Cholesterol is very thick fat found in lots of foods, and it's important for your body, but in small amounts. And this cholesterol also is not very healthy in excess because it can also cause coronary heart disease. Yes, Habiba?
Are the saturated and unsaturated fats, are they related to the alkanes and alkenes in the organic chemistry?
Yes,
Okay.
they are related to the hydrocarbon chain.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, and the saturated are alkenes.
The saturated, they have the maximum amount of hydrogen atoms and they are completely saturated. They don't have double bonds. It's in the unsaturated that they have the double bonds and they can break and take more hydrogen atoms.
Okay.
Okay, so let's not confuse
Okay.
everyone else. Yes.
Do I need to include saturated fatty acids in my diet, or can I give them up if I'm taking unsaturated?
No, you
Fats.
can. You can.
They're not important then.
No, it's not that they're not important. You will take them in like because a lot of fruits they contain both types, and nuts they contain, like if you eat almonds, if you take nuts, they contain both types of fats, but they have saturated in smaller amounts. And you can give it up altogether, yes. Of course, a lot of people give it up altogether and they survive. They're actually much better off without it.
Okay.
Like coconut oil is a mixture between both. So maybe even if you want to completely eliminate it, you will find it in some foods in small amounts, which is good. But putting too much butter and too much ghee in your food, it will definitely make your food very tasty, but it's very unhealthy.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the last thing, cholesterol, and I'll let you go. Cholesterol is needed also in small amounts, is found in a lot of fishy foods. It is important because it's important for the making of vitamin D, and like any fat, it's important for the making of cell membranes, hormones. We will talk about these hormones when we study reproduction. Our next lesson, estrogen and testosterone, these are the female and the male hormones. Any hormone needs fat. That's why fats are important. Cholesterol is found in liver, in eggs, in shellfish, in meat, in dairy products. Too much cholesterol is not good because it will also cause coronary heart disease. So in case you are asked what causes coronary heart disease, you need to specify which type of fat, saturated fat and cholesterol. Okay? And too much of unsaturated fat also is not good. Too much of something is never good. I think fiber is obvious now. Yes, this picture shows you the circular muscles and the longitudinal muscles in your esophagus and your digestive system in general. They are antagonistic. When one contracts, the other relaxes. When one relaxes, the other contracts. They help moving the food along the digestive tract. And this movement is called peristalsis. I'll start with it tomorrow. Okay. I will stop here so that I remember where I stopped. Anyone has any questions? Tomorrow we'll start with the deficiency diseases.
Doctor,
Yes, my dear.
I couldn't understand the type of fats.
Okay, let's go over it. There's nothing much to understand about it. Unfortunately, you need to memorize it. We have different types of fats. And why are they divided into several types? Because of their molecular structure. You're not requested to know anything about the molecular structure, just to know their names. You have fats that come from animals, animal sources. They're called saturated fat. Like the butter. You know what's the butter?
Yes.
Okay. Now, these types of fats, they are solid at room temperature and they are unhealthy. Why? Because they build up in your arteries and they reduce the blood flow to the heart and they can cause coronary heart disease. Any questions?
No.
Okay. There's another type of fat that comes from olive oil, for example, comes from plant sources. And these fats, they are healthier. They are described in biology as unsaturated. They're healthier because they do not cause coronary heart disease. Any questions?
No.
Okay. And there's a third type of fat called cholesterol. Cholesterol is important You have to eat cholesterol, but in small amounts. I need it to make cell membranes. I need it to make hormones. I need it for some organs in the body. I need it because it is important for the making of vitamin D. But too much cholesterol is not good because also it will block your arteries and it can reduce the blood flow to the heart.
Is it the most important one?
It's not that I cannot tell you something is more important than the other. God created everything for a reason. And we have to eat everything. This is what we call a balanced diet. But the amount of what we eat makes a difference. Too much cholesterol, no, it's not good. No one will advise you to eat too much cholesterol. No one will advise you to eat lots of saturated fat. Small amounts are important. Even vitamins, even minerals, too much of something is not good. And too little of something is not good. We have to eat a balanced diet depending on the age, on your requirements, on your activity levels. Clear?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone has any questions? Okay, if you want to leave, it's your choice. I want to revise the mock exam, the midterm exam. So if you want to stay with me and revise the midterm exam, I'll do this now because I do not want to waste any time tomorrow in class. So I'm going to open the midterm exam quickly and I'll go over the questions of the midterm exam. Where is it? Okay. Now the exam, in my opinion, it is very easy. But of course, if you did not study, it will never be easy. Now, this question, the first question was an easy one. You all got the first question correct. I'll talk about the second question because a lot of you did not get it right. This second question, 1 minute, I want just a pen. Okay. Now here, the length of the mitochondria in a photomicrograph is 15 millimeters. And the actual length is 3 micrometers. What is the magnification of the photomicrograph? Now, this student here, she wrote exactly the steps she did in order to score or to get this grade or to get this answer. Now, didn't you notice that this is 15 millimeters and this is 3 micrometers? What is the first thing that you have to do?
Convert the units. Convert the
Very good. You have to unify the units. The units, they have to be the same before you start using the equation. The equation is I/AM. I want the magnification. The magnification is I over A. You cannot divide I over A except when the units are the same. So you will first convert 15 millimeters to micrometers. What did this student do? She multiplied by 1,000. So now she has the same units. And then she divided the 15,000 divided by 3 to get the magnification. That is why the answer is C. Okay? I hope it's clear.
Yes, I can solve it, then convert it, right?
No, you have to convert it first before solving it.
Doctor,
Okay, now let me move down.
doctor,
Yes?
will we receive our papers tomorrow?
Yes, you will see them, but I'll take them back. I have to give them back.
Okay.
I don't know why can't I scroll down. Yeah, I can now. Fine, the remaining questions, I think they were very obvious. Which statement about diffusion is correct? Some of you answered C because you did not read the question. This is not talking about active transport. It is talking about diffusion. Okay, a lot of you said it's the net movement of particles up a concentration gradient. This is active transport, and the question is asking about diffusion, so you need to read the question carefully. Now, the diagram shows the uptake of mineral ions by root hair cells. Now, which type of molecule is labeled X in the diagram? Here, it says that energy is needed. So which type of transport is taking place? Diffusion? Of course, active transport. And active transport needs what? What is X?
Protein.
It's membrane proteins. Very, very obvious. If you got it wrong, then you did not study. End of story. Now, this question. A lot of you got confused between letter E and letter D. Didn't we study in detail the structure of the mitochondrion? And we said that the mitochondrion is folded from the inside. And why is it folded? Why is this? 1 minute. Excuse to increase the surface area. 1 minute. I'll open this with another application. And why is this? So it is folded to increase the surface area. That is why. Just give me a second until it opens. What's this? What is this? Yes, here. So why is D the mitochondria, not the chloroplast?
Because of the maze in it.
This, yeah, miss.
Folded in a membrane.
Because of the membrane is folded. It's very obvious. D is the mitochondria. And then they tell you clearly in the question that this is a plant, that this is a leaf from a plant. So definitely, what is E?
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast. A lot of you did this mistake. Not because you did not study or because you did not read the question. Like you are rushing, I don't know why, and you're not reading the question carefully. It says clearly in the question that this is coming from a plant. So there has to be a chloroplast somewhere. Of course, A is what? It's very obvious. A is the what?
Cell wall.
What is B? All this.
Vacuole.
Of course, it's the vacuole. C is what?
Nucleus.
The nucleus. Now, this question, it was in the last year's exam, May, June 22. Very easy question. I chose the easiest questions for you. And whoever got confused or mixed up between D and E either did not read the question or did not study. Because I don't have any other reason for that. Because we studied clearly and we showed pictures and we mentioned that the mitochondria is folded from the inside to increase the surface area. And those folds, they are called crista. We even took its name. So D is mitochondria. You did not get it right? I don't know why. Okay. Now, how is this question graded? Because you have to get this and this correct to get 1 mark. So this is 1 mark. This is another mark. This is the 3rd mark. And this is a 4th mark. And this is a 5th mark. So this question is out of 5 marks. And you have to get both of them correct in order to get the mark. So some students, they said mitochondria, and then they put an E. And chloroplast, and then they put a D. You lost 2 marks. Because you have to get them both correct. You have to get the whole row correct. Yes, Ganila.
This في الفانكشن بتاعت الكلوروبلاست أنا I wrote provides chlorophyll that gives the leaf green pigment وكمان كتبت الphotosynthesis.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, my dear.
In the nucleus, I said that it stores DNA وchromosomes. هل ده صح ولا غلط؟
No, correct. Okay, you will see your exams tomorrow. Now, this question, also some of you gave me very funny answers. State the process by which carbon dioxide travels into the leaf from the air. And before that, they said, carbon dioxide is a raw material for photosynthesis. So they told you in the question that the carbon dioxide is needed for photosynthesis. How can someone give me respiration as an answer? I don't know. Okay, the gases, how do gases move? By what?
Diffusion.
By diffusion. So those who wrote respiration as an answer, again, I don't know where did they get this from, but this only shows that you did not take things clearly and you did not study at all. Now, this picture, for your information, everyone took a -1 in this picture, but I did not deduct the grade. Okay, so all of you took a -1 in this picture, but I did not deduct the grade for this picture because I thought that you still need to practice your drawings a little bit more. Now, this is a very good drawing, but this student will lose a grade, will lose 1 mark on the Cambridge exam. Why? Let's see why.
Broken lines.
No. The lines are not broken. No broken lines. And the size is very good. And the details...
The cells?
No. These are not cells. These are vascular bundles. So everything is good, but she did not show the different tissue layers. She did not show the different tissue layers. This is the epidermis, by the way, of the plant. So a perfect picture would be her picture added to that. So this layer, as you notice in the picture itself, there is a dark thin layer, which is the epidermis, and there is another layer of cells above the epidermis. So if she had done and showed the layers, okay, she will get the 4 out of 4. I did not deduct any grade for anyone for the picture. I thought maybe you wanted more practice, but look at the picture here. There is a dark line here. This dark line is the epidermis, and there's another layer of cells here. This is actually the palisade mesophyll for this monocot plant, okay, for this type of plant. So I thought maybe you need more practice, so I did not deduct. And if you go to the mark scheme, if you want to go to the mark scheme on the original exam, you will see that you need to show several layers showing you the tissue layers. So this was a good picture, but it missed the tissue layers, and you all missed it. So I did not deduct any marks for this picture. Now, this was also very easy, magnification. You all measured in centimeters, and how did you convert to millimeters?
Multiply by 10.
Multiply by 10. Anything else will be incorrect. And you want to calculate the actual length. So she divided by what? Where did she get this 120 from?
Magnification.
The magnification. Very good. So she did a good job, an excellent job. Okay, now this is a standard paper 6 question, and they said clearly that the scientists investigated the effect of different concentrations of sodium chloride solution on the germination and growth of grass. And they said clearly also that after 20 days, the length of the seedling roots were measured with a ruler. So what is the independent variable? What did the scientists change?
Concentration of sodium chloride solution.
Of course, no other answer. And what are the results? What is the dependent variable?
Length of the
length.
seedling roots.
The length has to be in the answer. A lot of you said the growth and the germination of the seeds, and I considered it correct. But in the Cambridge exam, they're not very nice people. I'm telling you, the examiners are not nice. They're very strict, and they want a particular answer. In this question, I chose the easiest questions for you for the first midterm exam. This question tells you clearly that after 20 days, they will measure the length. So the length must have been in the answer. That's why I chose this student, her exam as the model answer, because she gave me what I wanted. She said the length. If you wrote growth, if you wrote germination, I considered it correct. But on a Cambridge exam, maybe they won't, okay? And
Doctor,
yes, my dear.
I wrote both.
Okay, very good. Okay, and they explained here what they did. They said that they repeated it 4 times and they used 15 seeds. The question was very, very obvious, very obvious. And most of you got this correct. The 2 ways to make it valid, you all gave me a correct answer here. Okay, now, percentage change. We did it, I don't know how many times. Like, I concentrated mainly on paper 6 because I know that this is a problem for a lot of students. Whether you're old or new, you still have problems with paper 6. And we calculated percentage change many times and we revised it, and I told you to go over it. Here they're asking for the percentage decrease. Okay? When the concentration of sodium chloride changed from 4 to 6. So they wanted the concentration percentage decrease. So 4 is the starting or the final? Starting, okay. So 4 is the starting. And 6 is the starting or the final?
The final.
Final. Some students, they did this 6 minus 4 over 4 times 100. Unfortunately, they lost the mark, even though the steps are correct. Why? Because they did not read the question, because they are in a hurry, because they said in the question that we want to calculate the percentage decrease in the average root length. So you will go to 4 and 6, and you will take the average root length, and you will use those numbers in your calculation. So it should be 13 minus 19 over 19, the starting, times 100. It all depends on you reading the question. They said in the average root length. So if you use those numbers, there is no excuse. Okay? Now, this student, she lost a mark because she also, you see what she did? She did the first step actually incorrect. That was her only mistake in the exam. Okay, what she should have done is 13 minus 19 over 19. But they said percentage decrease. So will you put the negative sign or you will not put the negative sign?
Not put it.
You will not put the negative sign. Okay, if you did on the real exam, you will lose a grade, but I did not deduct. Now her graph was perfect. What is plotted on the x-axis, everyone? The independent or the dependent variable?
Independent.
Independent variable, which was the concentration. And what is plotted on the y-axis?
Dependent.
The dependent. So why is this a perfect graph? Because she labeled her x-axis and she mentioned the units. And she labeled the y-axis and she mentioned the units. And she used more than half the axes. She spread her values, okay, to use more than half the axes. And she plotted with x's. And then she joined with a ruler. So that was a perfect graph. Yes, Gamila.
Miss, how do I set the value بتاع كل box?
There is nothing fixed, but what you should do is that first you will divide this graph into boxes of 5. Look what she did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then 5, and then 5, and then 5. So this is the first thing we do. Okay? And then she will go to her table. On the y-axis, she's going to plot the results, which is the average root length. The maximum value is 33. Let's say 35, because we like multiples of 5. How many boxes does she have? She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's say 15. I want to distribute the 35 over the 15 boxes, so I spread them. I just have to try. I just have to do my, I have to try. If every box was with 5, let me finish. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Will I use more than half the graph? Or my 33 will end here? I will not use half the graph. I used only the lower half. You lose a mark. You have to extend your values. So when you try that and you find that the 33 or the maximum value did not exceed half the graph, then you will erase with a eraser, because you should have been using a pencil, and you will do something else. Let's try 10. Let's try, sorry, every 2 boxes 5, 5, 10, 15. This is what she did. And she found that now she extended her values to use more than half the graph. Do you understand what she did?
Yes.
Okay. So you just have to divide your graph into boxes of 5 and then distribute your values so that the maximum value is at the end or near the end of the graph. How many times did we do that? It's okay. You need to just practice a little bit more. So this was a perfect graph. It was a very good graph. Now also, this is the name of the arachnid. Where is the genus?
Okay.
The first name or the second name? Yes, my dear.
Excuse me, if we don't if I joined it but not using a ruler, is that
I did not deduct a grade, but you can on a Cambridge exam lose a grade. Go to the mark scheme. Always use the mark scheme as your reference. They will say ruled graph. Ruled graph means you use a ruler.
Point.
Okay. So either you will make a straight line of best fit, and it's best to join the dots. Like that is very good. I keep on telling you, use a ruler, use a ruler. You don't listen. I don't do that to give you a hard time. I do that because I know what the mark scheme wants, and we don't want to upset them. We want the full mark. We don't want to lose any grade. Okay? The British people are very strict. They pay attention to details. Now this arachnid is called the Maraciform, I don't know what. Now what is the genus? The first name or the second name?
First one.
The first name. And here the question asks you to talk about the key that helps you identify the organism. It has a name. Dichotomous key. You don't know it, you did not study. Now here they asked you about features of the arachnids. Arachnids, only arachnids. So when you tell me exoskeleton, segmented body, you lost the mark because we're not talking about the arthropods. We're talking specifically about the arachnids. How many legs do they have?
8.
Yes, 8 or 4 pairs. How many body parts? These are the only arthropods that have how many body parts?
2.
2. Okay, if you write no antenna, it's also correct because they are also arthropods that have no antenna. So you did not know the answer because you did not study, period, because you forgot, because we definitely mentioned this in class.
Miss, if I said they don't have wings.
I think I will consider it correct because they don't have wings. Wings are found only in insects. Okay, now all of you got this question correct, most of you, and this was an easy one. I don't think any problems. This page was very easy. Most of you got it correctly. And also this page, if you studied the food testing, they're asking you for protein. What's the test for protein? Burette. And they told you that protein is present in food supplement P and R. So of course, if it's a positive result, the blue will turn to what?
Purple.
Purple. So that was also, I don't think anything was tricky. Not one question was tricky. Yes, Gamila.
Is it okay لو color at start I wrote it colorless?
No, it's wrong because it's not colorless. It starts blue.
correct يا مس.
Yes, Ziad.
Miss, at the color of the end at the top, P and R, I wrote red instead of purple. So how many marks I
Wrong.
will,
You lose a mark.
lose?
You lose a mark. Okay, I don't know why you changed color. These are fixed colors. You're very strange. Now the test for reducing sugars, Benedict, no other answer. Okay, safety precaution. Now there's nothing more easier than that, and you all got it correct. This question also, the original question was actually much more harder, and I asked you a very simple method to eliminate the error in the reducing sugar test. You know what is the sugar reducing test? Any test that requires color change. What is the error? What is the easiest error that you can write?
Validated method.
Okay. Anything that will involve color is an error. So that was the easy, most of you got it or wrote color, but this was also correct. The temperature was
Yes.
constant. Yes, my dear.
What if it's said that it's an inaccurate time?
No, this is not correct. What's time got to do here? On the contrary, we are waiting for the color to change. So we are not going to stick to leave it for a fixed time. Any constant factor can be an error if it's not constant, but the time is not constant. I will put the Benedict, I'll put it in the heat and I will wait. So the time is not constant. You understand? The temperature has to be the same. So if the temperature is not the same, it's an error. If I did not see the color, it's an error. Some of you said I used the dropper, and this is also correct. So all the common errors that we revised and talk about, all of them are correct. A lot of you gave me several answers and they were all correct, but unfortunately not the time. So color change is an error. Temperature changing is an error. Volume of the solution added is an error. Okay? Yes, Ziad. Ziad, you have a question?
No, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay. Now I see that the exam is very easy. Yes.
So if I wrote the dropper, it's incorrect?
No, it's correct because using a dropper is a source of error. You know the classic source of errors, all of them would fit in this question. Color, the temperature is fluctuating, the dropper, it's better to use a burette or a pipette. This is, some people told me I did not repeat and it was considered correct. Okay, so most of the answers that you gave me were actually correct.
Doctor.
Okay, now I want to really stress on something. The new capital students, the girls in new capital, maybe more than 8 students scored the full mark in one class. I'm very proud of them because most of them are newcomers. So they did not take this as an excuse. On the contrary, they did very, very, very well. Even though in the Shuruk campus, most of them are not newcomers, but the New Capital campus did better. So I just want to mention that because I want to tell you that I am so, so proud of you. Any questions before I go? Yes, Ahmed.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Doctor, in the food tests, instead of blue, and it changes to purple. I wrote purple/lilac, not violet. Is it wrong?
No, 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 it's correct. As long as you mention purple, violet, lilac, it's correct. Okay, you will all see your exams tomorrow, and I'll take it back because I have to hand it back, and we will continue the lesson tomorrow. And I'll tell you which classified to get in a minute. I'll check it out, and I'll tell you which classified to get. Any questions before I go?
No, thank you. But Miss, can you send the recorded session on Google Classroom?
Yes, I will.
Miss,
Yes, my dear.
the marks uploaded in the Google Classroom. The marks, يعني?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.